Alright, welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's having a good one. And today we're actually going to start the story in Endwalker. So, let's just get straight into it. I don't remember turning Bahamut on. I feel like Axel did. Okay, so Reptile, I would assume. I'm hoping they talk a lot so I don't have to talk. That's always the hope these days. And I guess let me bump that up. Alright, where's the crew? Well, how much taller? I'm not that much taller. Hello. Not that much taller considering I think he's 50 height for a Mikute. Alright, Alphana. Oh boy, hit me with it. Do you have some time to talk? I would like to gather everyone in Dawn's respite together and together assess the situation in which we find ourselves. Hit me with it. Let's go. Let us take stock of the facts, shall we? The crisis at hand began with the sudden appearance of ominous towers in a multitude of locations throughout the world. We have since learned that said structures were brought into being by an organization known as the Telephori. The study's purpose is to recreate the final days of eons past, an apocalyptic event that would result in the destruction of all we hold dear. Already have these towers of theirs been the cause of untold suffering. I can't read. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, their faith perverted for primal sufferings. Unless we find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the spies, we can't even get close enough to rescue anyone. Those shielded with the blessing of light seem able to resist being tempered, at least. But after what happened to Arenvold and Fordola, we need to be very, very careful about how we proceed. Yet, while these threats close to Heim are of paramount concern, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Garlemald. As you know, the Telephori are under the leadership of Fendaniel and one other delightful fellow, Xenos Galvus, the Crown Prince and our dear friend. To date, he's reclaimed his old body, murdered Emperor Varus, and plunged Garlemald into even deeper pits of chaos. Capital has probably seen the worst of it. For a good while there, it saw the bloodiest fighting in the War of Succession, but that has since changed, and in troubling ways. Aye, during our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by the barking of cannons or the cries of discord. It was an eerie fog of silence which did blanket that ruined city. The inhabitants appeared to have been tempered. With nary a word spoken did they labour to transform the palace into a soaring edifice born of nightmares. If they were indeed made thralls, it seems safe to assume that these events, too, were orchestrated by the Telephori. An army of primals is awful enough, but in light of recent developments, I fear it is only the prelude to an even greater catastrophe. We need to devise a means to counter this threat, and quickly, before our allies are overwhelmed. We will find a way in Chalayan, I'm sure of it. Oh god. Ellas and names, man. Ellas and names. Master Fushinal comments regarding the final days were curious to say the least. The forum knows more than it is learning on. Sorry to interrupt. We just received word from Mistress Krell. She says that arrangements for your visit have been finalized. You're to head to Limsa and board the next ship bound for Chalayan. And on arrival, present yourselves as associates of the students of Baldesion, come to assist with the Order's restoration. I'm here for this music. The arrangements may be settled, but what of your thoughts? They must race at the prospect of returning home after so long. I'm eager to see it, of course. But of course, we should set off at once. Then I'll accompany you to the docks. You need at least one person there to wave and cry and wish you a safe journey. Alright, everyone break. Alright, Limsa, Limsa, Limsa. Hero Limsa. Yeah, I was about to say I'm shooting down by the Arcanists. Oh, everyone really is there. Right, talk to everyone. Sea travel can be tedious, but I don't mind it. 'Tis a rare experience for most Ishgardians. I never thought the day would come that I would be sailing home again. It always seemed so very far away. Thoughts? I shudder to think what manner of truth awaiteth us beyond the indigo deep. Still more do I dread the prospect of discussions long overdue. Nope, nope. No! Tataru, no! Alright. Well, we're getting on the ship then. Oh, what? We're 2 songs in and I'm already here for it. Was that guy in the green cap from the samurai? I think it was. I can't remember his name.
They've almost finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart right on schedule, or so I'm told.
Excellent. 'Tis nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
It's funny. Master Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one.
Not for nothing, Thancred, but I think they all look the same.
And now, years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's whims are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louis Soir of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
Oh, really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
Will this be your first visit to Charlian, Sir Estinian?
What's with the look?
Sir Estinian?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
I, merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company. Or I'll be forced to respond in kind, little Lord Alphino.
You've made your point, Estinian. Painfully well.
Better.
Oh, Tataru.
Are you alright, Tataru? You seem positively distraught.
I thought she was joking about waving and crying and seeing us off.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland. It's just... we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hellbent on destroying the world. And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
Oh my god, someone hug her.
I'll hold you to that.
Ah, good. You're still here.
Oh shit, it's these two. Hello.
Hori! Kultine! What brings you all this way?
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower. Flamine and the others wish you all a safe journey, and promise that they'll look after things here until you return. We will too, of course. Aye, we, your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn, will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
We're set to sail! All aboard for Charlian!
Alright, everyone. Off we go. Oh, there's a lot of us
It's
going.
time.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
Have a safe journey, and please, please, be careful.
Bye, guys. Oh, wow, we made it up to the deck real quick.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown. A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux. In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end.
Real positive, Emmett.
Treasure every moment, every step of your descent.
Is Emmett just my minor thoughts now? I know this is gonna work. Oh, down we go. Meanwhile, thousands of leagues under the sea.
And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
I'm really not feeling positive. The Emmett's real spooky. Dialogue there. Apostle of the Dragons. Oh no. Flashbacks to Calamity. Flashbacks to the Calamity.
Here. Feel. Think.
The day has barely dawned, my fellow earlier riser. Though we're hardly alone in that. Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt.
These seem like real uncomfortable sleeping positions.
Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself.
Grass, she's talking to me again, help.
In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck? Charlian should be coming into view at any moment.
Oh, but 1.0. I don't want to go up on the top of the ship. That's where the danger is. Am I gonna see the woman again? Is that this building too? It is! Hello. It's you again. How are you doing?
My voice yet reaches you. I am glad. Hear, feel, think.
Okay, Heidelin. How are you?
And thus do we meet face to face at last. My warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
Ooh. Go for that.
After your sojourn in the First, I believe you have your answer. You have gained an understanding of what I truly am, what Heidelin has always been, a primal. Zodiac was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world, and I was brought forth to bind him. Yet 7 times now, those who would orchestrate a return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered. The greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish. The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield. Yet though it taxes me sorely, I dare not leave these words unsaid. Even bereft of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms. Monumental, which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Cast your peepers to the fore, folks. Charlian's just over yonder.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land.
I kind of want answers more than seeing Charlian.
We shall meet again, and soon.
Okay. Goodbye. Guys, you won't believe what I just saw on the deck.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
You slept sitting up.
And a good morning to you too. Taking a look at the island already?
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
We're not gonna... Okay, we're not gonna tell anyone. I'm not gonna be like, hey, so Highland came to me in physical form.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen. There she is. Good old Charlian.
Oh, I see it.
Home. Home at last. Well, maybe not in Father's eyes, but we'll manage on our own, if we must.
You do know you're not alone in this, don't you? Indeed. 'Tis as Sir Estinian saith. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side, I prithee.
We all signed the adoption papers. You're ours.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Charlian proper. There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
Ooh, that's a good title card. Fan up. Is this the most positive, like, opening we've had for an expansion so far? Emmett's creepy, foreboding words aside.
Charlian, the solitary island nation of the northern seas. Where under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands. How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Alamegan soil. So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
Thank you, Emmett. I'm glad they brought his voice actor back for something.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next then? Entry applications?
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Hasn't Charlian all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Charlian only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders, especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge. If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
May.
This is the second game in a row that I've played on stream where I'm having issue Essentially getting into a foreign country.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed. The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Sharlayan's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions. Crown has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration. Grahatir, it might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Of course. The immigration officers were this way, as I recall. Shall we?
Hold up, what do you mean? Do you not know? Oh, it's just one little Lala fella at a desk.
Greetings. We've just arrived and are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
I am. Grahatir of the Students of Baldessian at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
Nope.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today. And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Ishtola rule.
See how it glows. That list is etherically linked with a citizen registry kept in the main repository.
I was about to ask why the book's glowing. Thank you.
I've confirmed your status as Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home. Now, who do we have here?
Well, you two might as well be next. Me and Estinian have no paperwork.
Alphino Leveilleur.
And Alize Leveilleur.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that, the streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny. And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation. Times are quite troubled enough already.
We shall keep that in mind.
Go forth, my children. Cause chaos. Screw the rules.
These last two are not Sharlayan natives, but you will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
Name and occupation?
Oh, interesting. Well, I don't want to say that. Can I get away with saying artisan? I leveled crafters, just to say this, please.
Indeed. Your profile describes you as an adventurer, but one also trained in the rather more constructive pursuits of procurement and production. You may enter.
Yes! Getting 80 on crafter paid off.
And you, sir?
He's our bodyguard.
Estinian Varlino, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
Bodyguard. Caretaker for the kids. Oh, good crawl.
If you'll allow me.
Did you sprint the whole way here?
My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
See? Bodyguard.
Mistress Baldessian, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
I have every confidence in my chosen company, dear and trusted comrades that they are. But I thank you for your concern.
Why didn't we discuss on the ship a suitable occupation for Estinian?
Croyle, it is good to see you.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you will seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we? Oh!
You've never been formally introduced? No, you have been.
Welcome, friends, to Sharlayan.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Well, I had to say something, Sir Taciturn.
Stick Tataru on him. She'll put him in his place. Oh god, hi. Right, let's not talk to Kral. Thoughts? I am unaccustomed to fabricating lies on demand. It shouldn't matter how I earn my living. This is why you pick up a second job. Here we are at last, the great city of Sharlayan. You may have noticed some similarities with the Crystarium, yes? In fact, well, we really should let Kral have her say first. We can continue this conversation another time. So basically, you built the Crystarium with this place in mind. That's what I'm getting. You're doubtless eager to take in the sights. Not to worry, the city's not like to vanish before we finish our discussion. Allow me to extend unto thee my warmest welcome. May the wisdom of my homeland aid us in our endeavours. Even allowing that the years I spent in the first passed here in the blink of an eye, the city feels untouched by time. Probably because it's an island that's... Oh no! It's just clicked. It's another island built around an eternal time. I'm fine, honest. Better to be waved through with a stern warning than to be denied entry after all. That was about as awkward as expected. Still, we're here now, and that's all that matters. Right, Kral. Oh, hit me. I'm glad I spotted your ship coming into port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for detail. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. I had thought to launch directly into an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. But this is XIV and Estinian's first time in Sharlayan, and for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit and people you're dying to see. Therefore, I propose we postpone our agenda so that you all may have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Once you've settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldessian Annex. How does that sound? It is a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome at the Levier estate as such, but I should like to nose around the neighbourhood all the same. Hey, your father just denounced you, your mother didn't. I'm equally untethered as it were. There is no particular place that my kin call home. Still, I would not pass up the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of our old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The annex was west of the Aetheryte Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. I too have places I would be remiss I'm not visiting forthwith. By they leave. And then there were 4. What of you, Estinian? My services as a guide are yours for the asking. It won't be necessary. Until we reconvene, I prefer to wander as the wind takes me. But I could... Oh. Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? We've been gone for quite a while, and this would be the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Oh, of course, if you'll have me. Charlene awaits. Yes. Home with the boyfriend. And Kral. Oh, it's straight up. Okay. His enthusiasm is infectious, isn't it? Alright. After you, my friend, I'm more than content to follow your lead. Oh, he's now... Okay, keep him at your side in order to proceed. You can leave. Why would I leave him by entering a different area using the Aethernet or putting too much distance between you? All set, let us speed on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be the last stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbour. What's now coming? Oh, guys, we're going for a walk. Let's go. Do you guys... You'll run! Summoning bell. With all the unusual wares coming and going at all hours, I expect the assistance of an intrepid adventurer will be highly appreciated. I see no reason why you couldn't undertake any tasks which pique your interest. You have been cleared by the immigration officials, after all. Look forward to the day your name is celebrated in Chalet in the same way it is in Eorzea. This place is called the Peristyle, and is the first stop for cargo unloaded at the docks. You'll find the usual necessities for daily living and other imports vital to running an island nation, but also supplies that further Chalane's pursuit of knowledge, namely large quantities of books, specimens, and samples. Sorting these stacks certainly seems to keep the attendants busy. So I'll be crafting later. Oh, Aether. Come with me, guys. I see a shiny thing that I need to hit. Okay, that's where I should be. Right, we're going for a real trip. Okay, that's where I should be. Is there another one anywhere? Though I suppose the point is I'm going on a tour, so I guess they'll lead me around the city anyway. Nope. Come in. Nope. Crow. And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Chalayan tends to regard seasoning and flavour with a certain indifference. How can I put this? The food is, it's bland. As encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf, the prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first and taste a distant second. There's one pupil at the studium, however, who could stomach the school's insipid meals no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all of his savings into building a proper eatery. And so the last stand came to be. It is, as the name implies, the sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Chalayan, the one and only bastion of the culinary arts in the Isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the more impressive items on the menu. Not that I ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. Because you were a typical Sharlayan when it came to cheap and convenient, Raha. But surely Tataru has taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We should all stop in when time permits and sample the cafe's delights. Shall we press on? The stairs to the side of the cafe there will take us up to the Aetheryte Plaza. I mean, I feel as though I relate to Raha. Food keeps you going, and that's all I really care about. Did I miss the thing down there? No. There is an Aetheryte over here. Okay. Nope. You can fly! Attunement first, discussion second. Alright. An unusual shape, isn't it? I assure you, however, that it's a perfectly functioning Aetheryte. Remember to attune yourself before we move on. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, I should make mention of the Confluence, a research facility located on this very plaza. Its much vaunted discoveries are the reason Sharlayan stands as the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of elegant Aetherites, it allowed us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. And if we go to our next destination, our path leads northeast to the Agora, Sharlayan's largest marketplace. That's the entrance to the Confluence, which I can't see because my camera's locked here. I have no doubt their expertise will prove useful at some point, so I suggest you remember the way here. Speaking of Aetherites, those teleportation fees do add up after a while, which is why I tended to rely on the far cheaper ferry services. I was pleasantly surprised when Mistress Tataru informed me that the Scions are reimbursed for teleportation costs as part of our duties. But I find old habits hard to break. That, and I'd rather not be bothered filling out the necessary paperwork. Hold on, you get paid back for teleporting? You guys receive a refund? I don't receive a refund. I think they said... God, my small brain. Northeast. Northeast. This music is nice, but I'm not as about it as it was like the Crystarian music. I really have... Technically northeast, not the northeast they wanted, but I technically want northeast. Okay, you're just gonna walk on the fountain? Alright. Oh, this is the Levier estate? Nice. I mean, they can't go there, but... Nice. I'm assuming this... Okay, this thing here is... Oh, this reminds me of that one town in ESO. Where the marketplace is just a bunch of stalls in Plaza. Alright, Corral, tell me. Welcome to the Aguro, where you can find wares made in Sharlayan as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes from various research institutes, but I think that practice has thankfully died out, for the most part. Otherwise I can think of no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it, perhaps? On a more serious note, the next stop on our tour is one which has particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Aetheryte Plaza, follow the path north, then climb the stairs up to that imposing building at the very top. These little decorative features are typical of Sharlayan architecture. Aside from the research wing, our headquarters on the Isle of Val were rather simple and rustic by comparison. Big on water. I think that's Thalic's whole deal. It's an area dedicated to the blessings of water. For Sharlayans, water represents more than the life-sustaining liquid. It is a reminder of the Great Flood which precipitated the birth of our nation, as well as the symbol of the knowledge which flows forth from Thalic's divine Ewer. This is the reason you see an abundance of fountains throughout the city, and a propensity for utilizing water as a decorative feature in our architecture. I can't remember who my deity is. Oh, Nimia. Aetheryte must be up. Okay. Big imposing building. Is this where the forum is? This grand structure before you is the Rostra. The name refers to the original public platform erected here, upon which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations and debate policy. Although the stage has since evolved into council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Raha? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here one can see the entire city spread out below. The vista put me in mind of my arrival in the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I could think of, the great city of Sharlayan. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town, a community, the Crystarium. I can almost see its echo. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the councillors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. See, I could, but we're going to take a detour over here. Because I want that Aetheryte. Stairs. Will you jump down after me if I just kind of... Yeah, you will. I'm gonna walk the whole way over here and then it's gonna be like, oh hey. This is where the quest ends. Just in case it's not. I really want that Aetheryte. I mean, I like the city, but I don't know. It seemed better. Not one that I'd be like, man. I know, I still Crystarium topping this place. And I say that as someone who is a sucker for plants and trees and water features. Alright. Alright, now we walk the whole way to the other side of this map. I don't know why I'm walking, and I know you guys can sprint with me. Quick, Gra. Pick up Kral. Beep beep, coming through. I'm reminded of all those Animal Crossing islands that do amazing things with stairs. Things that I didn't bother with. I said Astrologian! Very distracted. Alright, Journey's End. We arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this was where those who put ashore with... Let me try that again. History tells us that this was where those who put ashore with Archon Nunkrepf built their first homes. That's the name. In the present day, it serves as the residential district for the most important officials and the oldest Chilean families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbours. The estate belongs to our friends from the House Levieux. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring our little Chilean tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now, shall we head directly to the Baldessian Annex? You remember the way, don't you, Raha? Let me think. Head down towards the harbour, cross the bridge to our right, and follow the path below the Aetheryte Plaza? Correct. After you. I'm not gonna remember that. We seen this one? Nope. Right, we cross the bridge here as I recall. Stick to the path and be careful not to end up back in the Aetheryte Plaza. Chilean is full of educational and research institutions, but there are still professors who prefer to establish their own private practices. Not that I ever attended the exclusive schools they run in these residences. Perhaps the twins could tell you more about them? I was trying to think what this place reminds me of. And I think it reminds me of the water city in 15 Alticia? I think it was Alticia. So you know, if Leviathan's out there, I'm gonna run. As the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Baldessian Annex. If you continue up the hill, you arrive on the doorstep of the Phenomenon. But I think we've explored enough for one day. We can take you there another time. Inside with you then. I'm back, and I've brought Ixia and Raha with me. you're right about the ship then. Hello, Graha. It's nice to see you again. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Ixia. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Ojika? Ojika Shunjika. It has been an age. Allow me to introduce Ojika Sunjika, Administration Officer for the Students of Baldessian. He oversees the day-to-day business of the Annex. You may recall meeting his cousin, Ichika. No. Vaguely. I didn't really stick around for Eureka. Oh yes, Eureka, I've read the initial reports. Quite a shock to hear what's become of the Isle. Do take care if you have the opportunity to rejoin the expedition. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Val served as our main headquarters, of course, but we often had occasion to visit Charlene, whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. And the annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we engaged in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the isle itself, vanished, the annex has served as our base of operations. And yet it feels so empty, with so many lost to us. Our organization is a shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. But first, we must ensure that the Telephory fall. Through that door on the left is the main hall, where we can discuss our options moving forward. Once everyone arrives, that is. You probably have time to rest before our discussions begin in earnest. I've had private quarters prepared for you in the Andron, so please feel free to make yourself at home. Ah, the nap rooms. Perfect for an afternoon doze. Oh, I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed. Far more so than some cheap roadside inn, you may be assured. It was simply that we were often so busy with research or exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the Andron just to steal a few winks. And thus they became known amongst the students as nap rooms, even if many such naps might last well into the following morning. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you to your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. Do you have papers pasted on the walls of your room? It's also not unusual for occupants to pin up notes or documents and such, and then forget to take them when they went on their merry way. Sometimes it was quite deliberate, though. Missing complaints addressed to other members, or a thank you card for the engrossing literature someone left behind. Beloved traditions that I should know better than to dwell upon. If we are to create a future for the students of Baldessian and so many others, we must look to the days ahead. I need to know. I need to know what this room looks like. My curiosity has been piqued. Oh, this is... I mean, I'm not gonna say it's... Once again, I'm still more of a fan of the Crystarium, but what is that? That's supposed to be Ifrit? That's Behemoth. Ladder to nowhere? I'm getting an Isle Delfino vibe. I guess Noki Noki Bay. Oh! It really is just you in this thing. Who was studying Garuda? Like, who went out of their way? Oh, I love that! Good King Mogumog. That's to do with coil. Cubes. What's that? Nope. That looks like Azizlar. Yeah, because that's where the Warring Triad are. Feeling refreshed and alert, our colleagues should be wandering in soon, so I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us. I was about to say, who are we missing? Hello.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
It's fine, Urianger. We're all here now.
Let's get down to business then, shall we? Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroi's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal. The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlayan, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, he had simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nidana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavnair. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal. In response to this threat, the satrap of Radzat-Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. It is possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Oh, pick me! Pick me!
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavnair would seem the obvious choice.
Do I get to pick who comes with me?
But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnairian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary.
Well, there's no... I need to go. There's no point in Justinian staying here, so Justinian should come with me.
Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, Our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts.
Of course it would.
You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
As much as I would like Grath to come, it would make more sense for him to stay here too.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Alize and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
So I'll get Thancred, Urianger, Estinian?
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking. Of course, the more the merrier.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavner. Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavner on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
Bad?
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nadana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
I'm not entirely sure on how they need my help for the stuff in Sharlayan. Like, over in Thavner? Makes sense, you want me to beat up a thing. Oh, the choices! It's like Shadowbringers all over again. Alright. An unsettling change has come over Sharlayan, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the Forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the councillors directly is a fruitless endeavour. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge, which is why I began scouring Sharlayan's archive of historical records for any hint of a connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day. But now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside Nomenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Alright, book club, let's go. I might as well pick that up and just set you guys going. I have Quarrel's instructions in hand. If you're ready to set out, then so are we. Having been to Thavner before, I can travel by Aetherite, but what are the rest of you? Another sea voyage will waste time we do not have. Quarrel was of the same mind, and has already secured the aid of the good folk of the Confluence. We'll take ourselves there. Concerns? The Confluence, thou sayest? I'm afraid so, my friend. Thou wilt recall the hunt for Iceheart, unto whose sanctuary we delivered thee owing to the knowledge of our comrade Moonbreeder. Oh no. Moonbreeder was an authority of aetherology, a field of study she did embark upon in pursuit of her parents' example. Both are authorities in their own right, and both are researchers at the Confluence. Haven't you gone to see them yet? I attempted to do so earlier, but to my shame my courage failed me at the last. As it hath the many times I thought to reach out to them after sending that fateful letter. Neither time nor introspection have revealed unto me the words I should speak, and thus I have kept my silence. Whether you come with us or no is your choice and yours alone. If it's too difficult, we'll manage. Thou art kind to say so, but I have no intention of forsaking our cause. I shall go to the confluence, and I shall face that which hath been long overdue. If it's settled then let us be off. When we arrive, we shall look for a researcher named Kate. Oh no. How do you tell someone? Well, good luck, Ranger. On a scale of 1 to 10, how blamed are you gonna be? Okay. No, we must not get distracted by side quests. Side quests are for secondary classes. Proceed onwards. Ignore the exclamation points. They're not necessary as of yet. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of the Nemenon, Charlian's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Nemenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the great Google library pale in comparison to Nemenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Charlian is free to enter and pursue its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Y'shtola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alize and Alphino will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. The status presents more of a problem. Oh, your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Charlian history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let's be about it, shall we? I've told Gillis to meet us at the stone benches over there once they found some promising tomes. Happy reading! I can't escape, Scholar. Book mage is haunting me again. Long, long ago on an island in the Northern Sea, there lived a Rogadan man by the name of Injunkrip. Injunkrip was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Injunkrip's crew hauled them aboard his ark. But the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Injunkrip wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Abalathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them. But it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Injunkrip gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Charlian we live in to this day. Many years ago, on the banks of the Thaliak in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Charlian colony once thrived. The settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year of 1311 on the 6th Astral era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumours spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognise what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the Great Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. The following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Idleshire. This book does not appear to contain additional information on the Forum or cover the history of the Sharlayan motherland in greater detail. But it was interesting. God, I want to jump over this railing so bad. Just yeet. Oh. Okay. I don't think I can, but that was kind of a... Ooh. Is that a mammoth in a wig? Is that a Lalafell? In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's... Okay, bye dude. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that the Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the Forum as we know it today conceived and created. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, with the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Alag who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamund and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, that their positions continued to shift, continue to shift as we journey to the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? This book is on the wrong subject. Such works we contain detail. Yeah, but it was interesting to read. Someone was trying to get me to join their class. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I'm about to be called out by a book in a video game. I too once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus, do I share with you this mantra. I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19, or 23, or 40. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Though mindful, healthy living will extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, ethological, and arcane viewpoint. about to be sold a pyramid scheme from a book in a video game. During the chaos of the 6th Umbral Calamity, Archon Nunkrep, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading, with knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops, engineering brought wells and sewers ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. You've gained a fundamental understanding of Sharlayan history and the foundation of the Forum. I don't feel as though I have, but whatever you say, game. Any more books? Nope, okay. Oh, my frame rate over this particular light panel. Guys, have you too ever wanted to remain young? All you gotta do is keep saying to yourself that you are forever XYZ age. Well, here's two of you. Sorry, were you waiting long? I wanted to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising times. Alphino and Kral should be along shortly. I was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final days specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant times, if they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate, plenty of comfortable places to read, and a ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. Seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we were not allowed to be allowed across the threshold. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live here in the city? Ah, well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Isilbard, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvus, the coastal region opposite the island of Thavnir. Elegans founded a city in that fertile land and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikate to serve as labourers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the 4th Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and with the 5th Calamity froze the sea solid. Many of the tribes still living in Corvus braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Allegan technology from being misused. Isn't Carvos under Gallian rule? For the past 50 years, yes, some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald remained the region locus... Oh no! Oh no, it's that boy! Locus... I keep wanting to sing Locus Among Us. Amoenus. Hello, I've heard of that. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allagan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices have been raised in favour of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allagan Eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Allag. As the last child born with the Allagan Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends in the students of a Baldessian who had me registered as a Shalane citizen. Never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louisois, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Shalanes than you might think. Yet regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. It is exactly why I have such a love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Here, another good reason to get to the bottom of the forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books. More companies should be arriving any moment now. So, Raha, was there is there any weird experiments going on when you were over there? What else do I know of Corvus? Precious little, I'm afraid. I've not returned since Master Galuf first brought me here. I can tell you that Corvusite rebels still seek to slip the yoke of their imperial masters, though the fighting is far less fierce than it once was. Oh, and they have carpets. Flying carpets. That is quite extraordinary. Should have led with carpets, man. That's the most interesting part. There are others better suited to poring over old history books, so I thought I'd try my luck with more recent events. If I could find anything to better inform the forum's baffling behaviour. That's a bold hope. We've returned with our selections. Although I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kral has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarot firsthand, and fear I may be overlooking critical details. My thanks. Now, where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days grew nigh? Right, well that's not an answer. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. Oh no. Wrong button! Ah! The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of crabs, return to crabs. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyse. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Eustola summarizes that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Ascians. Can we dumb down the words, please? My brain doesn't go very well. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Alphina, you can answer this one. Ah yes, the I keep wanting to call them Amorites. Or Amorotans. Not Amoratines. They spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually it resounded all across the star, and not even Amarot was spared. So was the ground crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of the Nominons Mamets and ask after any books which make mention of such a sound. Oh, I was a Mamet then. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this Would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented... Last but not least, would you describe how... Statement. Would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? Not question. What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiac. Yes, with Elizabeth serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that his godlike will were the lords of nature set aright. Then, once balance was readdressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiac, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Venar and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Heidelin. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telephorai truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Y'shtola, but it's time we began studying these research papers. Really is comforting to have all these dedicated assistants on hand. Right then, enough chatting, more reading. Oh, I was about to say, where did you dump Alphino? Many forum members were also researchers or professors. If they know aught of the final days, then that knowledge might surface in their writing. That is my hope, anyway. Okay, we're just waiting for Y'shtola then. Oh, we've got a long wait for Y'shtola. Alright. There she is. Find anything? Whew, I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced 1 or 2 possibly useful books, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianger learned of the source's reflections from the Gurren oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Google Library. It is even less likely that knowledge of the Unsundered World, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason, then, that my colleagues, be they Archons or Councillors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Hoshino with knowledge of the Telephorai and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behaviour is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Look, unless you've smuggled books out for me to read, what am I reading? You labour for what feels like an age as you stole as research assistant. Where is she? 1 or 2 books. Biggest stack out of them. Thank you for your help, but I think I can manage the rest without your assistance. If I were you, I'd steal a few quiet moments for myself. No, we proceed onwards. Oh dear, you look exhausted. What about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? And then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a mammoth at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. I was about to say, oh, am I fully free? But no. Are we gonna break off? Ready for a tea break? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are gonna calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down in the harbour, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables. I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Oh, I knew she was a coffee girl. I knew. Are you familiar with the Wandering Minstrel? I'm very familiar with the Wandering Minstrel. And his counterpart. I hate not being able to... I wanna fly, let me fly. Tea break, tea break. Alright, Alice. As busy as ever, I see. How very Charlian that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete with customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telephori. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? They really are all about having people just accompany you. Which is fine. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You must understand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telephori. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all we hold dear and... Wait, you're that House Levieux girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to rumour. Thank you to leave me be. I have naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologise. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Ah, punch him. He's not worth the hassle, Alize. We should punch him. Oh, that's cute. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Excuse us for the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telephori and their inconsequential plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levieux. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Forchelnau that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. So the real answer here is that I should have asked on my own. But even then, being a foreigner, I probably wouldn't have got anything. Hello. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alize I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Me Dickon. the owner of the Lost Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studio. Seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, and then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything alright at home? It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master Porchenol may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. I'm going to pronounce his name different every single time it comes up. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? We have questions, and only Sharlayan has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're visitors to Sharlayan, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server, with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? That's the spirit. Pay attention now and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting at the water's edge. The omelette is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisela. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them you should see a Mikute gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask again and I'll explain. Good luck. Oh, having to remember things. Alright. So... Chatty group was the tea set? Is it just going to be an order? Oh, my tea set. Lovely, thank you. The Telefohu? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practices of the 6th Astral Era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. Can I come back and take you up on that conversation later? You wanted the omelette? Oh, thank God, it's all in one line. Ah, finally. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. What? The Telephony? Ah, yes, I remember seeing the name of the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the final days. Some old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. Oh. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. The final days? This is the first I've heard of it. Although, that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It must be a busier time at the Gleaner. You don't know what a Gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Sharlayan. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. So named for those folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. By all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. These Telephoi make good on their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbour and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before. Not like this. Alizé, we need to go to the docks. Alizé! Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in this city. If the knowledge does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, cup of coffee that I promised. You're just gonna hand it over, just here, travel mug. But let's enjoy our drinks somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. Peristyle even. I'm sorry, I'll say it. I can't pronounce anything correct about your homeland, be it the people or the places. Right, where is she? Hello. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight. Oh, it is a travel mug.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Grahar said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
Oh, speaking of those goods that are coming in and out of the area.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat.
Let's steal a boat. Let's steal a boat.
Wait. Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Let's steal a boat. Let's steal a boat. Or swim. We could swim. We'll learn how to breathe underwater. We should tell the others what we've learnt about the Gleaners. Come on. No, not even come on. Go on ahead to Nomenon, and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Carl, we need to hijack a boat. It's real important that we hijack a boat. Oh god. Carl, we need to go underground. The answer isn't in the books. The answer is in the live things. Welcome back. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. I like how we're all really good at spacing ourselves out. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo, it certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let's see what theory we can build from the facts. As Stoller observed earlier, Nominon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Ixia and Alize learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Charlayans know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues were not only familiar with final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telephroi is wholly unlike those apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves, and, if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. Guys, I'm sick of reading. I understand not everyone is the studious type. Consider this a welcome change of pace, then. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I would like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That'll be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Off we go! Let's head down the stairs over there. I'll show you where the entrance is. Bye, Raha! Over here. I could just throw myself off stairs. Who needs stairs? Hello. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorientating. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Does she say? Okay, but how brisk is her walk? Game, unless she suddenly breaks into a sprint, I don't think I have any issue of falling behind. It is pleasant here among the trees. Can we... We really should move along, yes. You gonna pop out a sprint? They say I walk faster than you do. Now we run. Okay. Go on then. Oh, thank God, an NPC that actually runs. I was about to start doing circles around you, Alize. Is there going to be a test on where we're going? Up here? Okay. This is the third sort of follow mechanic that we've had. There's an escort quest just in the wings, I can feel it. Rostra, not too far now. I can feel an escort quest in my bones. Like an actual escort quest with danger. we are, through this door and downstairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep going. I did. I remembered. Oh, I'm getting Limsa vibes from this. Throwback to my first day in Limsa, having to put oil in the lanterns. I was about to say wax the lanterns. Oh, there's a chocobo keep down here. Why is the chocobo keep down here? Oh, very fancy. That's definitely an outfit. You didn't take a wrong turn into the rostra, did... Yeah. You didn't take a wrong turn into the rostra there, did you? I doubt the forum would take kindly to you barging into a private session. No, but maybe I should go back and do it. I've not been to Labyrinthos in the longest time. Even as a student, my visits were far and few between. Oh, I didn't want to... You stole it, please. How far did the forum learn... how far? How did the forum learn of the final days, and exactly how much did they know? And more to the point, what do they intend to do about it? Hopefully the answer to at least one of these questions lies below. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Alright, everyone onto the left and down we go. Things have been going too well. Like, we've had bureaucratic stoppings, but nothing.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
I like how judgmental the soul of Emmett is about everything. God, when is that island, that sanctuary island coming? Yeah, the expansion stuff came out a couple of days.
I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Oh no. You okay, girl?
Did you call to me just now?
That's... person is evil. No one's evil. Was it a female voice or a male voice, girl?
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
No one in that team is gonna be the final boss. I'm not murdering Graf. Though to be fair, I think experiments might have caused her echo to go a bit haywire. But to answer the earlier question, have I been tackling this non-stop? Not really. Like, this is the first day of doing the story. Alright, where's the gleaner that I'm gonna go and bother? Oh, they got more moments. Val. You're here to help or give me more headaches because you don't have the look of a gleaner and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. I mean, 2 alert streams are like 2 AM my time. I've been doing leveling. This is the first day of doing stories, so it's only been a 7-hour stream and a 2-hour stream. And it came out on Friday. Let me think. The rare seeds should be item 1058, cumin seeds 1059, snowballberry 1060, or were they 1061? My head feels like it's stuffed with moko grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Koathan carrots for the Girabanyan carrots? What then? That feels like it's a play on gatherers. Like, someone's going to say something about rings. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books, and ore, and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They did just one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be they're changing the layout, and preparing for the next big expansion. Or they're up to something evil. Church is evil, council is evil, government's evil. Any luck? What tales did the gleaners have to tell? I wrote all of this down on little scraps of paper. So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right, the former is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. We would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game Ixia, I have an idea. Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. I've only just noticed that I crouched down to talk to Kryl. Since when? Normally I just stand there and just stare down at her. In the meantime, I will turn my charms onto this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting. How to talk to your Lalafellan friends. Crouch down. Make eye contact. Alright, where are your marmots? You wish to help me find the marmots? I have nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. Name is Val, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Naxian marmots is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in the sack. Gently, of course. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot. Or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. And presumably, I shouldn't attack anything. Who needs my... Oh, that's probably the other thing. I probably shouldn't attack anything and risk killing it in this quote-unquote living library. Alright, everyone keep your eyes peeled for the little rat. It could be anywhere. Like over there. Oh no, I am allowed to attack the wildlife. Let's go. Which is mine? You're mine. Only two? Okay. Take their skins, make money. That's not how this works. Oh, there it goes. No, after it. Barely have you readied the sack when the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbrush. After it. Chase it down. The heck is that? Oh, a troll, of course. I don't want to attack anything. Animal parts don't go for a lot in this game. Why am I walking? I can... Right. Okay, join the crowd in fighting these things. Which one's my one? Come here. How about we just pick it up first? Just grab the thing with your hands, then put it in the sack. No, he's out! There he goes! I rode it nimbly evade your grasp before once again disappearing into the trees. Curses. Curse this tiny, tiny mouse. Nope, this is my main character. So, I was already 80 to everything, minus the 2 new classes. Oh god, where? Oh, it's all the way around, okay. God, I miss flying. Right, where's everyone coming from? Because that would lead me to where I need to be. Come here, tiny mouse. More prepared for its speed this time, you succeed in closing the sack over your elusive quarry. So flying in areas requires you to have yeah, it requires you to collect aether currents. So until you've collected all the aether currents, you can't fly. So it's not so much mumbo jumbo that prevents you from flying so much as you haven't learnt the mumbo jumbo that allows you to fly. Oh, hold up. Oh no, those aren't. We've got to do something with these things later. Nope, I'm just doing a quest. Just a standard quest. I'll worry about 8th occurrence at a later point. I've caught your mouse, sir. Ah, go for it, dude. How did you fare? Track down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Here you go. Ah, there's the old marmot out. Wait here a moment while I put our friends in a holding cage. Thankfully, the marmots seem to be unharmed. They've all held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. I mean, that's fair, Star. You come and go as you please. That's for the Forum to decide. They're the guiding authority behind Labyrinthos, after all, and this job was but one small part of this great inventory of theirs. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those are the 2 conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. There you are, Ixia. Is this the gleaner you mentioned? The one who was looking for lost marmots? Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I'm Carl of the students of Baldessian. These are my other associates. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not set entirely well with us. That is why we made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hoped that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Always impractical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer you more for your services. So long, you had a name, so you may come back later. Did you learn anything new from your friend there? So we've confirmed that the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. We also discovered when the operation was begun, the Forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put their people to this great work some 4 days after the Telophoroi made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travellers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus am I inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telophoroi's declaration was what set it all in motion? Seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Ashion? From there we can reach the lower... Oh, she's not having a good time. Kryle, what's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing that will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Ashion. We followed the path to the east, through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse, or marmot, was it? Anyway, it's just the trolls you need to be careful of. Oh, who is calling out to you, Kryle? Oh, that's so far away. Where is it? It's gonna be like up there. No, it's up on there, isn't it? Yep. Okay, we continue on. I'll walk. Aether right. Aether right. Oh, I recognize this music. Another trigger bookie. How did I walk past all of you and not realize? Behold, the Ashion. As Nomenon serves as Sharlayan's literary archive, so does this structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. The building you see is merely the upper entrance, and access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Ashion contains the physical history of Sharlayan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. Hey. Oh, look at all this side quests that have popped up that I'm not doing. I'll come back for you later, on a different class. Greetings, we're here to pursue the Ashion's vaults. Peruse? You're clearly not gleaners, then. Might I ask your affiliation? Peruse, even I can speak. We belong to the students of Baldessian, but is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us, then. I suppose we had better move along to another facility. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? That service has also been suspended, I'm afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. What? So this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. At that time, it will be too late. We're so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for a moment, shall we? Students of Baldessian. Oh no, we're poking our nose too deeply into things. We're at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to pursue this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek another means to access the lower levels. It is likely that the people in this area are involved in the restructuring in one way or another. If we were to integrate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. What's that? Take you down the lift with me? Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now have I finally found a spare moment to rest. Did see a Gleaner fellow heading out to the gate there, though, shouldering a large pack, engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with whatever it is he's doing. Am I taking the lift? Oh, no, we're just students. They wouldn't let us on into the Ashion, even though we found... Actually, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no such record of a creature anywhere. But it was wandering around tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vaults. Huh. What a little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Ashion is open again. Did you find a porksy? Is that what's in the box? Is it a porksy? Oh, I cannot jump myself over there. Oh, it's Erenville again. Hello. You okay? Wait, you're frightening it away. Ah, it's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. Falcon I need to capture is close. Very close. You wish to help me with this too? You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 2 hunters is generally better than 1. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is a hornbill. Its feathers are green and its cries the distinctive caw. Single it out and shoot it with a sleeping dart. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Alright. Hit the green hornbill. Hit the green hornbill that goes caw. Walk walk? You go caw. Oh, it's... You are not off. I don't believe... When I think hornbill, I think of these ones. It's you. Come back. There we go. Did it. Score. Get it out of the water, it's gonna drown.
A fair shot.
Oh, he speaks.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
He's been given a voice. Hi, Ems. He's been given a voice. He is a main character.
There you are. Any new revelations?
I found my friend again.
So you met with that Gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a cleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
Okay, it's gonna die then.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
It's too reasonable.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will of course follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
There's too many of us to go down anyway. We'd stand out.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome. But consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you'd do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Goodbye, my friend. They afforded you voice acting, so you may be back once again later.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Alright, down the spooky mine shaft we go. Ooh. If I can just finish this leg of the story branch, and then I can pick up whatever Thancred's doing this evening. A chin canal. Oh, there's like another hamlet. Emporia. Oh, there's a couple of places around here. Labyrinth Screamer. Alright, Alphina. This must be at the entrance to the mineshaft. 'Tis faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed there by researchers, you think? All slathering beasts aside, we'll need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. Ah! Alize. Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and checked their gear, then I'd say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead though, it would be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. Yep, we should be very careful with our footing, so, you know, get a sheep and just kind of race down it instead. Why do I feel like this is an area where a big fate spawns? It's like a huge area for like nothing. Right. Where's my mushrooms? Why did they appear so far away? Alright, continuing down. Right, let me grab mine and then sort of move further away. Where are my friends? Phew. Or is he going over to like this hamlet? Alright, Alphina. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident. Nothing of consequence, at least. And as promised, the tunnel has delivered us into the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Erenval's assumptions hold true, that specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let us follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. I see. Big old snake. That's an A rank. That's... doing whatever the heck it's doing. Oh, it's a slime, but it's fuzzy. It's a fuzzy old slime. Genimus. It's a slimy pile of leaves. Yep, that's definitely a farm. Can confirm. Aha! Now I know where we are. This is Meriel Argononyx. Labyrinthos is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of their research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues also are here. Most notable successes might make it to the Agora. Food so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaners hereabouts, yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. It is possible they know something of the forum's plans and their underlying motivations, worth looking into, wouldn't you say? See what you can coax from the workers, the rest of us will do the same, or cast about for useful clues. Oh, hello there. We weren't expecting visitors, not with the use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? Mineshaft, you say? Well, you're much hardier than the soil. A much hardier soil than I. Under normal circumstances, I'd reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the forum has us filling order lists a mile long. Massive yet detailed requests, literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. Nothing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation and was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. I was about to throw myself over that fence. Do I have aught to be taken down below? More than I can carry and then some. Most of our stock is sent off via the cargo lift, but some has to be earmarked for aerial transport, hence the stacks of crates atop that hill over there. God's hauling the lot up that slope which is job in half. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising, given that it's native to a particular locale in the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modelled, a region in the south of Isolad. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for a myriad flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperature plains, which in turn transition into a hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory is ever contested, as you might expect. It used to be called Corvos, before the Imperials renamed it Locus. I'm never going to be able to say this in one go without thinking Among Us. The forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment, one of those climates we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments of cultivation. I get the distinct feeling between everyone talking about it and the sage quest mentioning it. I'm going to be going to Corvus at some point. I'm going to be going into the territory of Ammonius. The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents. Bundles of common seeds and saplings accompanied by sheaves of reports. But why go to Mericidia? Pretty. Don't touch, probably deadly.
Hard to look away, isn't it? But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
Go on.
You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Hello, come look at the flowers.
Have you learned aught of interest? A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
You
This
okay,
is
Carl?
all very fascinating. But as it stands, we've failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaean?
It's our friend.
Look,
He's back.
There. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all...
I mean, Kroll's still not with us. Is she still looking? Yeah, she is. Cryle?
Cryle?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
I'm glad you agree.
Those flowers will be relevant later, somehow, some way.
Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Cryle, leave the flowers alone. We gotta go.
I can almost reach you.
Cryle? Cryle, my friend. Who's speaking to you, Cryle? Is it Heidelin? Zodiac? Or is it Xenos? Nope. Give me, my attention has been elsewhere. We're following Erenville, weren't we? Okay. Is Kroll still feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. Alright. Erenville was headed westwards along the path outside of the Echelon. Come, we can still catch him. Can I not just... I can. Find my own way. Oh good, right near wasp. Just what I want. Alright. Hold a moment, I have an idea. If memory serves, that colossal wall-like structure is the Logiscon Beta, one of Liberinthus's climate control centers. It should have its own lifts with which one can access the upper and or lower tiers. Aye, if I were an agent of the Forum, it would make for a convenient meeting place. But even if we were to find Erenville in the company of said agent, we cannot expect them to reveal issues of importance as we nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. Oh no, stealth. If only Garaha and his vanish spell were here. Oh, but there are other ways of turning invisible. Hippity hop, my little toads. Goodness. Alright. Frog Squad, let's go. Unaccustomed to transfiguration? Worry not, it will wear off with the passage of time. I suggest you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Erenville. Should you feel the magic's fading, return to me and I will refresh the enchantment. And what am I to do in the meantime? Wait here with me. In your current state of mind, you'd be less likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Oh, you'd be as likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Which reminds me, where the creatures hereabouts, in that form you are essentially defenseless. Alright, Frog Squad. Frog Squad! Come on, Alphino. Alfie Toad and Ally Toad are now accompanying you. Oh yeah, Frog Squad, let's go. And my Whitroat's running around as well. Oh. Amadet, I'm trusting you to keep a watch out. Alright, Amadoodle. This is so dumb. Frog Squad! No. No! Ah! Oh my god, hop faster! Frog Squad, go! Go, go, go! Oh, Amadet is... Amadet, help! Amadet! Amadet, carry me. Just carry me. We can all fit on you. Ally Toad attempts and fail. Oh, Alpha Toad attempts and fails to shake his head, but you nonetheless understand that he's telling you this is the wrong way. Ally Toad turns to face north. Perhaps she's suggesting you cross the bridge. I mean, Alpha Toad seemed to think we were going the wrong way. Ally Toad thinks we're going the right way. Well, it's somewhere around here. I think it's up there. Is that bridge? No, okay. So that bridge will be... Nope, that bridge does have a thing on it. Okay, let me try and get to that bridge. Right, Frog Squad. Why are these toads that want to eat me just on the pathway? I mean, there's a lot of frogs here. Okay, the fact that there's so many of us, so many frogs here. Over there! Frog Squad!
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work. So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Sharlayan scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
In an age long past, Sharlayan was charged with a momentous duty. And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge. I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
And the Forum will ignore them. Hello.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full. While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart. Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Okay. Goodbye.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
Well, goodbye. There he goes, into the mist. God, they really added Mel Vieira and we're like, we're gonna make all of these Mel Vieira NPCs likable. In one way or another. You will like them, dang it. I suppose we should have known a gleaner who specializes in animal procurement would not be so easily deceived. Yet, he seemed inclined to put his trust in us all the same. More importantly, perhaps we've discovered a new piece of the puzzle. This momentous duty the Forum agent mentioned. Sharlayan has been called to action and Thelofroy's declaration was the catalyst. Whatever charge it is they hope to fulfill, they deem it of sufficient import to disrupt all of Labyrinthos, not to mention ignore Eorzea's request for aid. Ooh. What duty could warrant the direct involvement of the Forum and the commitment of all its resources? Judging by what we just heard, none of the Gleaners were offered any kind of explanation. At this point, it seems abundantly clear that we'll learn nothing new by pressing them further. We should head back to Y'shtola and Kral for the moment, see what they think of this. I'm not really wondering about this flower that Kral was so enamored with. I feel like it's gonna come up story-wise. But I also feel like that guy who's like, man, I wish we could find the origins. He might be relevant to this the new little farming area that's gonna be in the game. Look at that frogger. Why are you walking back, ma'am? No! Radioactive slime. Alright, Y'shtola. Here's what we heard. Where is Kral? I trust you found Erenthal? Y'shtola, where is Kral? Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something important, even if that something was simply a confirmation that no one knows much of anything. We should share this with Kral, and then discuss how we'd like to proceed. Assuming we find her back at the farm. She was still behaving oddly, so I bade her return and rest there. Perhaps not the best decision in hindsight. Would you mind checking near those flowers she was so entranced by? The rest of us can survey the more distant areas, just in case she decided to wander. Something is going on with Kral. What is... There is an unlock. A little lost... A little lost troll. Alright, well the flowers were up on the hill. And that stray tomato was coming for this Vieira lady. Just like there's a Corrigan after me. Oh no, Kral is here. Where are the flowers again? Are you okay, Kral? Well, you're not okay, but... Why the flowers? Okay.
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting.
I don't know if I want that, Kral.
She said you would need it for the journey ahead. Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Oh. Oh.
Thank you. Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment. Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, it has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest. After Minfilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well.
Oh, don't make me cry this early on.
And another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you.
Oh, that's incredibly ominous, Heidelin. Thank you.
Take the flower. Walk free, for you are free to go where you wish, to believe what you will. That bloom will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free, and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine, till the end, blinding and radiant.
Maybe I should go back to putting a flower in my hair. Oh. You okay?
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away. My apologies if I startled you.
Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out. Even with my particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first, so weak and tenuous it was. Once I took hold of that wispy thread, imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress.
Are we? Because I don't feel like we are. And I also feel like she might have threatened your life. Maybe someone else's, but I'm kind of feeling like it was a threat on your life.
You can't be serious. We've done nothing wrong.
Oh, God. The guards are coming. I'd recognize Alize's voice from anywhere. Nope. It's the Forum legislators. Here they are. Oh, it's your dad. Oh, no.
Master Fortuno, what business has the Forum with us?
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization. We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian, a group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Oh, I want to punch him so badly.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities. Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
It is not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge, but the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact. With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. And we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
Punch him. Punch your dad.
What then is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Graha! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse.
Oh, so help me, dude. You might be their dad, but I am willing to deck you.
This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
Anytime I go to a new city. On trial. Okay, not every time. Can I invoke the old Ishgardian ways of my right to combat? I don't do well in politics. God, I'd want to just hop down. Just dink dink dink. Hello, Gra. I fancy meeting you here, in amongst all these scholarly faces.
Forgive me. I was careless.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together. I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
You should told her this place echoes like nothing. Like, maybe keep it down to a whisper? Oh, he's found some.
The forum will come to order. This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuner, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlayan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large. Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
I like how you can see Viera in these scenes, who clearly aren't allowed to wear the hat. Oh, Crow, you have hair.
tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
Speak up. Come on.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man. Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age-long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own. The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policymaking process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society.
However, upon looking closer...
And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd. From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted. No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge.
Go on.
The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives. Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene. But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea.
And that's where Hydaelyn is. Oh, it's all coming together. I need to go there.
You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Oh, the ethereal sea is gonna be space. And we're gonna have to go to space to speak to Hydaelyn.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Oh.
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore. Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle? We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission, not through strife and bloodshed, but survival. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
It's sounding very, Amarosian.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Such misguided zeal.
Go on, Afina. Go on. Say something.
Father, Master Fortuno, I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania. Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me. So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the Studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
Well, we better hope that he's gonna vouch for us then.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand, hmm? By their own admission, these Scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches. But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections. Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? Now, if we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
Order! We will have order!
Master Montaigne raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, the students of Baldesion are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlayan. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates. Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand. I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed.
No! Stonewalled.
Students, Scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences.
Bring it on, old man.
Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
Alright, well, that was a wash. Okay. Apologize for the trouble I've caused you. I was pondering the significance of what I just read as I left the restricted section and knocked over the security mammoth on my way out. I promise to be more vigilant next time. Grah! My father may be right, and I'm still groping in the dark for answers, but I needed him to know that I would never stop searching. I owed that much to Arenvold and myself. Thank gods for Skolak. That's his name. Absolutely loathe arguing in circles. You may encounter some raised eyebrows, but do continue to claim the students are just whensoever the need arises. I believe in the guiding principles of the science, and I know my grandfather would have as well. Well, at least we've been allowed to remain in the city, and our endless investigations have not been in vain. We now know that this mysterious duty of theirs began with whatever the Forum discovered in the ethereal sea. With our freedom so sorely curtailed, however, we will struggle to learn aught more of substance here in Sharlayan. The overall picture has grown clearer, yes, but in spite of the Forum being so maddeningly vague about this duty of theirs, why are they so reluctant to explain their actions in plain words? Survival, come what may, is father's work so vital that it takes precedence over his own family? For no, Elize, it is you. Is that your mother? When I heard you'd been dragged before the Forum, I came swiftly as I could. I'm so very glad they allowed you to stay. Aw, your mother's very pretty. And she seems very nice. Much better than your father. And she's wearing the choir outfit from, what, last Christmas? Christmas before? Emily and Slevio at your service. And you fine people must be the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. How lovely it is to finally meet you. Oh, your mother seems absolutely lovely. Mother, please, we don't wish to make things difficult for you. Word reaches father that you were here. Oh, bother that. Am I to be chastised for speaking with my own children? I am well aware that you and Master Fauchenal are not on the best of terms at the moment, but I've been absolutely desperate to see my darlings again. You will come by the house, won't you? I have gifts awaiting. The timing couldn't be better. As matters stand, we shan't be going anywhere until we discuss matters with Thancred's group and reconsider our options. Go, visit your home. We'll be back at the annex when you are ready to rejoin us. I'm not sure Ixia, what do you think? Why am I involved? Ixia, the Ixia Vitar? What a splendid day this has turned out to be. Champion of Eorzea, I insist that you join us. Alright. Ah, but we must be quick about it, not for my own benefit, but should my husband return and find you enjoying our hospitality, the servants will be made to suffer the consequences. Nixia, if you would be so kind as to escort my children to the estate? I mean, could you not do it? And then she was gone. Give her any opportunity to protest. Indeed, the matter is settled. Enjoy yourselves, you three. Alright, pick up the kids. I apologize, my mother is not one to take no for an answer. Still, I am glad, relieved even, to see her in such high spirits. What say you, Ixia? Though it seems we shall have little enough time to enjoy it, will you accompany us on our visit home? Fine, if we're going, then let's get it over with. But be sure to stay in the entrance hall. No peeking into our private chambers, thank you very much. Why ever not? Your room was always perfectly neat and tidy. Everyone has things they'd rather keep to themselves, don't they? Cherished mementos you can bring yourself to throw away, childhood toys. I mean, never mind. Maybe your estate is that way, straight down the stairs. Alright, kids. Well, your mother seems like an absolutely wonderful person and has left a far better impression on me than your father. Can we work out an arrangement? I want shared custody of you with your mother. I get you on the weekends. When Elise and I were little, this bridge was as far as we were permitted to wander alone. I say alone, but my mother or servant was always somewhere nearby, keeping a watchful eye. Now look at us, travelling to different continents, different worlds even. As children, Alphino and I would often wait here for our father to come home from work. It must have been a day when his meetings ran long, because I remember growing restless and leaning out over the railing to watch the water rush by. Father, of course, arrived at that exact moment. Came pounding down the path in a panic, crying out my name. Oh, I have a feeling I'm gonna end up leaving the twins behind at the end of the expansion. And I'm gonna cry. They've been my kids for 7 odd years. Here you are at last. Please do come in. Why are the doors so big? I like that Rogan.
Oh, my lady.
Did the Roganin not look good in the butler outfit? Or is he like the head of security?
What? What are you gawping at?
Elise, I come from a forest.
Oh, gods, please don't. It makes me feel like a spoiled princess.
We could fit we could fit the sign base in here.
Lord Fortuneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
Off they go.
Master Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you'd accompany me upstairs.
We shan't be long.
Okay, you have a good time. I guess I'll talk to your mother for a bit.
The twins have been sending letters home from time to time, recounting their latest adventures. I am sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying.
Probably. I don't imagine that Alize sent you a letter going, hey, I got shot with a very poisonous arrow.
Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could, sending the Scion's coin and other such donations. Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid. The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. It is clear that they have come to find value in every experience. But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name.
Only good things, I hope.
"'Tis plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them. Under normal circumstances, I would offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits."
Ma'am, I just want you to know I've been doing my utmost best to keep your children safe. Ooh, new clothes.
When you mentioned gifts, I wasn't sure what to expect. Mother,
Oh, look how well it fits you. And the style is to your liking?
You could kill someone with those heels, Alize.
It's perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. But please, tell me you had something different made for Alpha now.
It reminds me of, like, the outfit Lise went around in Stormblood.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore. And while I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become. See for yourself.
Thank you for the splendid clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
I am so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
Oh,
If you'd allow me, Master Alphino.
Was she a sage and she's passing down the knowledge? Like, is that how he becomes a sage?
Wait. Are these...
A sage's tools of the trade.
Oh!
They belonged to your father.
Interesting.
Though he may as well be chained to his desk these days, as a student he was often called upon to venture into the field. He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless. Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now. And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry.
Oh, Alphino, we gotta go and break them. I really want to piss off your father.
I am told these devices are quite difficult to master, but someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb.
If not, I know a guy.
May the wisdom in that crystal serve you well. And please, try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
We will, Mother. I promise.
My final gifts to you, before you run off, are an observation and a suggestion. Firstly, Fortuno has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work. I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance. Secondly, do not seek to best your father with words. Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
Go forth, cause chaos.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close.
Don't look at me, teach how to sage. I don't understand what I'm doing. I'll look after them. I'll bring them back. I promise, I won't promise their dad anything, but I'll promise you that I'll bring them back safe, unharmed. Aw, she's lovely. Your mother's she's a real gem. Your father's not. Thank you for indulging Mother's request. I can see it meant a lot to her, and I shall refrain from inquiring as to the content of your private conversation. Our visit was all too brief. For now, however, it will have to suffice, as will these tokens of a home that we carry with us. These gifts to help us remember who we are and whence we came. But enough sentimentality, let us return to the annex and rejoin our companions. Alright. Enjoyed your time with the Leviers, I hope? I would ask how the twins fared, but their new outfits tell the tale. I only hope we cannot help them reconcile with their father, that they might return home one day with their heads held high. In the meantime, we edge ever closer to the secret the Forum strives to hide, and the flower bequeathed to you by Heidelin is sure to guide us going forward. I'm confident that once you've scouted out the situation in Thavnir, we'll be well equipped to plot our next move. Okay, so that's the one. Yeah, that's done one branch of this. So that means we're technically on to doing whatever it was that Tancred. Oh yeah, we were going to. That's right. We need to go and inform the parents about Moonbreeder with Urianger. Need moral support for him before anything else. But I think that's where I'm going to call it for now. Just that's a good stopping point, doing that first branch, and then when I stream later, I'll do the second branch of it. Do the Thavnir side, and maybe hit a dungeon, maybe, possibly, probably not. But yeah, I hope you have a good morning, day, afternoon, evening, night, whatever your time zone would be. I hope you've had fun. And that's where I'm going to call it for now. Bye guys.